Alright guys, welcome back. So Request Network Crypto. This is gonna change everything. What is Request Crypto? Well, that's what you're gonna find out in this video because I'm gonna dumb it down to everything you basically need to know. And I really suggest you know this because Rec Crypto could be a potential ACH and AMP killer. So I know I talk about Flexa and Alchemy Pay quite a bit on this channel, but I just found out about Request and it's insane. You know, I look into payments a lot, payment crypto specifically, and it's just amazing how fast things change and how fast a competitor can spring out of nowhere. So when we're looking at cryptos, I think one of the important things that we got to look at is whether they have patents and whether they have IP protection to protect the innovations that they're doing. But again, with Request, it's a whole nother ballgame, you guys. But anyways, if you're new to this channel or you're a returning viewer but not a subscriber yet, then please do me the one favor of smashing the like button and smashing the subscribe button, and then we can get into the video. So we first gotta start out with what is Request. So Request is basically a decentralized network that allows anyone to request a payment, a request invoice, for which a recipient can pay in a very secure way. All the information is stored in a decentralized authentic ledger, and this makes for a cheaper, easier, and much more secure payments. And it also allows for a wider range of automation possibilities further down the road. So Request can really be seen as just a layer that is on top of Ethereum, which allows for payment requests that are legit because, you know, they're layered on top of a blockchain. So let's go on to the Request network. So anyone can write on the request ledger and request a payment. Now, this request can be received by the recipient through the use of a wallet or some sort of financial application. And if the request is approved, then they can basically be paid with one click, just like Amazon one-click pay. And during this request, all trade laws and taxes are all automatically applied to the request and taken into account. So all of these transactions have all the legalities that are needed in transactions already baked into it. So what's great about that is that it's secure, it's simple, and it's more affordable. It's secure because we don't need to share any banking information. It's simple because we can just do this with a click of a button. And it's more affordable because with Request, the fees that you pay are minimal. You don't have to pay massive fees. For example, when you use PayPal with business, PayPal charges you 15%. They charge me 15%. That was incredible. It's like highway robbery, but with Request, they pretty much take PayPal out of the game. So let's have a small look at how this network works. So we have Bob here, and what Bob does is he needs to get paid. So he creates a request on the Request network. And what happens is Alice is the payer. She's the recipient of the request. So what she does is they detect the request from a wallet or a financial application and they pay the request. Going back to the Request network, then the Request network will pay Bob. So it's all automated like that. And another thing is this is basically how a representation of the ledger looks like. So the currency or the method of exchange you're using does not have to be US dollars, does not have to be some sort of crypto. It can be really anything. You can see the payment amount here. It's in chickens, gold bars, BTC, UETH, whatever that is, and energy. So that's the sort of stuff that we're dealing with using the Request network. It doesn't have to be one sort of currency that is being used for exchange. And to further go on my soapbox, basically this is what happens right now in the before, and this is what happens with the Request network. When you are buying something online, let's say with Amazon, what happens is Bob is the payee, Bob is Amazon, and Alice is the payer. That means they're us. We're buying things from Amazon. So what Bob will do, or Amazon would ask for our credit card information or debit card information, and we would give our information to them. But we have to trust them that Bob will not charge us twice, resulting in a double charge, which sometimes they do. You mean that sometimes happen, but with Requests, that is going to be fixed. So this is also a very expensive and not secure way of doing transactions. Let's say you have to do a transfer. I mean, we have PayPal and Venmo and Cash App here in the US, but still what we need to do is if we're paying someone, we need to get our banking info. And for example, in a wire transfer, the bank will need our banking info to pay Bob, and we'll actually need to connect our bank or something or manually add our new recipient when we're doing kind of like a payment transfer. And Bob will need to manually check their accounts to make sure that they have received receive the money. You know, when you have to actually grab someone's email or phone number and add it to your bank account in order to send them money. Yeah, with requests, you don't need to do that. It's all one click. And let me remind you, with people that are old, even myself sometimes, I question whether they actually gave me the right email. Because if they didn't, then I'm just going to be out money. And the third part is using PayPal. So using PayPal or Venmo, something like that, what happens is Bob will ask for a payment. Then we would have to add our debit info on Venmo or PayPal. We have to give them our debit info, which is our bank accounts. And then PayPal or Venmo will actually then credit Bob or the payee. So there's a lot of moving parts there, when just in fact with requests is just you create a request, Alice detects it, clicks a button, and then Bob gets paid. Oh, just to give you a size of the market that Request is dealing with, more than $5 trillion are exchanged every day on the Swift network. And the Swift network is very poorly optimized. And this is what the Request network brings to the table. It brings to the table accounting, automated real-time accounting, improved auditing, simplified expense reports, making escrow simple and reliable, and it automatically pays taxes for you. So governments will be interested, and this makes everything way more transparent. So we could see where our charitable money at charitable organizations, how they are spending that money, because we definitely can't do that now. Now let's talk about use cases. Now, as I mentioned before, with Request, it really simplifies accounting for us and auditing. It eliminates manual tax collection, simplifies international payments, and replaces payment systems that completely rip you off like PayPal. So one of the many things that they do is B2B invoicing or business to business invoicing. And one of the problems with that is that billions of invoices are shared each year between companies, and most are still sent in paper and email format. I mean, can you believe that? Request will let bills be paid directly on the ledger, which will save thousands of medium to small size businesses, because the missing of invoices, late payments, that is exactly why many of them go out of business. And then there are online payments. I mean, buying things with Amazon, it really exposes your personal banking information to hackers. And Request can help this by doing a one-click pay at the lowest cost without the crazy fees that PayPal charges. I always go back to PayPal because they always charge me that 15%, which I am really miffed about. The last and biggest change with Request is accounting, because accounting with Request is done in real time, which is not possible right now. Instead of having auditors check the legitimacy of your accounts, Request automatically does it for you. And yes, for auditors and accountants, this is not very good news, because their entire livelihood is going to be destroyed. But if you're an accountant or an auditor, you still got time to save yourself by learning new skills. Now, to give you an example of how big this industry is, in 2014, Microsoft paid $46.2 million in auditing fees to Deloitte, and Bank of America paid almost the same. Well, not almost, they paid $100 million. And in total, the 100 biggest companies in the US paid a total of $2.5 billion in audit fees. And let's not forget to mention that in these cases, when auditors are doing their audits, fraud probably does happen. But when you have blockchain handling things, then that pretty much takes a human element out of it. It takes away human greed. So trying to be fraudulent, that's going to be near impossible. Now, there are a lot of other use cases associated with Request to do with escrow, government, and institutions. And I encourage you to read the white paper, the use cases section, to really get a hold on that. But other than that, the important thing is basically for me is transparency, because corrupted transactions can really no longer be hidden because it's the blockchain. It's immutable. You can't just take a bribe and say erase that data. The blockchain is immutable. You can't erase that data. Now, there's something I want to highlight. The double entry accounting system, which is used everywhere, was made in 1494. So Request will introduce a third entry accounting system, which introduces automatic auditing. So that's the huge upgrade. I mean, since 500 years ago, now we're making an upgrade, and that is with the Request network. How incredible is that? Now let's talk about the tokens. So with the Request token, every time a network transaction is made, Request token is burned. Yeah, you heard that right. It's deflationary, and there's only 1 billion Request tokens. Now, the amount burned will be adjusted as usage of the network increases. The cost for using the network platform is expected to be around 0.05% to 0.5% of the transactions, and that percentage will decrease as the volume of transaction increases. So don't have to worry about running out of tokens, because they have that figured out. Now, last unrelated things to the token is that they are using, or thinking of using, using Filecoin to store the heaviest information of invoices. So that is just a small FYI, just in case you're thinking about Filecoin aside from request token. Other than that, guys, that's all I got. I hope you got something out of this. Hope you learned something about request token and how much of a game changer it actually is. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, if you want more, then please don't forget to smash the like button and smash the subscribe button. Check out these other videos on cryptocurrencies and passive income, and I'll see you next time. Peace!